The River.
Now the pitch. That's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. One run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
Hey everybody, DP here. Tune in Sundays to the West Coast Wiffle Report live on Blog Talk Radio as we chronicle all things wiffle ball.
Fast Plastic is back. The 2018 Texas Open in Frisco, Texas. Saturday, October 6th, Columbus Day weekend. Battle through 24 of the hardest hitting teams to take home the most coveted prize in the history of the sport. Fast Plastic. We're back bigger and better. $10,000 and a national championship. Register now. www.fastplasticnct.com. Fast Plastic. It's about the game.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
And welcome to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. I'm JB, alongside the host, Bill O. What's going on, Billy?
Not much, JB. How are you this evening?
Well, I'm doing mighty fine. How about yourself?
I'm ready to get another show in the book, so to speak.
Absolutely. You know, speaking of shows in the books, this is our 16th show. 16th. And I am proud to say that on the 16th show, we had 1,100 views on number 15. That's pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, Vern.
And I want to throw a big shout out to everybody that shared those shows. Babs Big Flies, Chad Heflin, that's it. Fast Plastic, Charlie Berger, Way Too Beautiful, Steve Ionson, Will Marshall, Arizona Wiffle, Ed Packer, Two Wiffle Dudes, and Palisades WBL. Thank you guys for sharing the show, and I would ask you that you tell your friends and have them share it also. 1,100 views on the 15th show. Let's keep going.
Well, JB, there's one thing, though, that you don't know about those 1,100 views.
What's that?
I paid a guy to listen in 1,000 times.
Oh, boy.
So we got one guy that's listening 1,000 times.
You've kind of deflated my bubble there. I'm just saying, okay? That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well,
I was excited about it, and now you're telling me you've paid somebody to watch it 1,100 times.
Yep. That's a record, by the way. So we got a great show tonight. Going to get into it here really quick. It's like you got blocked there.
I did, yeah. I
going to bring in Millsy here in a minute or so. We're going to have Tim Cook from Mid-Atlantic Wiffle tonight. Some big stuff going there. And then the FP Radio Network's one of our favorites, Brett Bevilacqua, coming on to close out the show tonight. Ought to be exciting.
Now, let me interject here. I understand this is kind of a different show tonight.
Well, it's not. It's from our past shows. We're going to mix it up a little bit, but I think this is more in tune with what I had in mind when I first envisioned doing these. So,
okay.
Anyway, it's all about pleasing the listening audience. So hopefully we can pull that off tonight and get a little bit more interaction with players, listeners, and provide some entertainment. So, but thanks to everybody that listens in, all your feedback. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely. All right. And as always, we've got Millsy. Adam Millsy on the line here. Hit the wrong button. I tell you what. What's going on, Adam?
Hey, guys. How's it going this week?
It's going great. So tell us about the tournaments going on all across America this week.
All right. Got it. So the first one found is Wiffle Ball League of Hampton Roads, and their opening day is in Norfolk, Virginia tonight. I couldn't find any rules, but my guess is it's a medium pitch, unscuffed yellow bat league. Next, Palisades has their week 5 in Blauvelt, New York on Sunday, and that's a fast pitch, scuff ball, modified bats, and you can find their game of the week on Facebook Live, which is always pretty cool to watch. Following up on that, since there was a nice little debate going on the chat room last week, the NWLA regional tournament is in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's this Saturday. And it's a fast pitch, unscuffed, yellow bat run the base tournament. And it looks like the top 4 teams that come out of that tournament win a bid to the NWLA championship in Morenci, Michigan in July. After that, you kind of mentioned this town last week, and it's the Cedar Park medium pitch tournament. That's in Cedar Park, Texas on Saturday. And my guess is it's a yellow bat unscuffed tournament. And it's actually a free entry. You just have to register ahead of time. After that, I have the Fastballs for Flyers Wiffle Ball Tournament, and that's in Framingham, Massachusetts on Saturday. That's a medium pitch, unscuffed, any bat, run the base league. After that, the Florida State Wiffle Ball League is hosting 2 tournaments this weekend. They're hosting a fast pitch in Orlando, Florida on Saturday, and a slow pitch in Lakeland, Florida on Sunday. Then the John Waldron Memorial Wiffle Ball Tournament, and that's in Brockton, Massachusetts on Saturday. It's their 7th year hosting the tournament, and it looks like it's a medium pitch, unscuffed yellow bat tournament. After that, I have the AWAA Open Draft Tournament in Albany, New York on Sunday. And depending which mound you stand on determines what speed you can throw. It's unscuffed yellow bat, run the bases. And finally, I have Wiffle for Cancer. It's hosting their 14th annual tournament in Ridgewood, New Jersey, and that's on Sunday. It's a unlimited speed, unscuffed yellow bat tournament. And me and the W2B guys played in this a few years ago, and it really does go to a great cause. And anytime you can put some money towards cancer research is an awesome thing to do. They did, however, have one rule that we weren't really a fan of. It was the rule where so if we're losing a game 1-0 at the end of the 2nd inning and we score 9 runs in the 3rd inning and you don't finish that inning by the 20-minute time limit they have, it reverts back to the 2nd inning, so you'd end up losing that game. So we quickly had to figure out a way to beat that rule. But
wow.
Yeah, I mean, the money goes to a good cause. So
absolutely goes for a great cause.
Yeah, so even if the rule's not that great, you're still putting money towards a good cause. So
absolutely. So Millsy, I got to ask you, are you sweating?
Yeah, what's up?
Are you sweating right now, or did you get that central air installed?
So I did get the central air put in, and I haven't needed to use it for the past week. So I guess that's kind of like when you buy a snowblower and don't get any snow for 3 years. But
absolutely.
No complaints here because the electric bill is still low.
That's good. That's good. All right, Millsy.
Yeah, and did you guys happen to reach out to those world record guys at all? It was on my mind this week.
Yeah, time slipped by me as well. I did reach out to him a couple weeks ago, but yet to hear. I'm going to put that on my list right now. So next week we will have an answer.
Yeah, I actually noticed on their Facebook page they put up a video, and it did show them finishing their game. It was like after 26 hours, so it looks like they did it. But
that's awesome.
I actually haven't heard back either. So,
well, that's awesome. 26-hour wiffle ball game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts.
All right. Well, as always, much appreciated. And you playing in the next Mid-Atlantic tournament?
I am not, unfortunately. I'm going to a wedding, so I'm going to be missing this one, but I'll be at the next one after that in July.
All right.
It's not your wedding, is it?
It is not. No,
okay.
I probably have another year or so for that.
You know, a good friend of mine once told me, raise your kids the same way you live your life, and that's single.
Right.
That's a good saying. I'll have to write that one down. I don't know if my girlfriend will like it, though.
Probably not.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, Millsy. As always, have a good one, man.
Yeah, anytime. I'll talk to you guys again next week.
All right, Millsy, have a good one.
You too.
About your upcoming tournament is Fast Plastic Radio and WiffleBallTournaments.com. WiffleBallTournaments.com is here to help you locate tournaments all over the nation and find the ones closest to home. If you know of any tournaments that we don't have listed, let us know. We're here to help everyone, players and directors alike. Spread the word, WiffleBallTournaments.com. You can contact WiffleBallTournaments.com, W2BWiffle@gmail.com, WiffleBallTournaments.com. Absolutely. Check out WiffleBallTournaments.com. Get with Millsy. Tell him about your tournaments coming up. Let him get it posted on his website and make you get some good turnout for it.
Yeah, one thing I would like to find out is about these Florida State tournaments being run down there. I'd like to find out, how that's going, get some results, see who the teams are that's playing. So anybody that's been involved in that, send me an email, message us, whatever it is, get a hold of us, let us know. Maybe we'll get you on the show.
Absolutely. All right, we've got a new segment to the Fast Plastic Radio Network, and it's Bill O is going to talk about some I don't know exactly what you're going to talk about, but we've got some great theme music for it. I'm going to throw up here for you, okay, Bill?
All right, let's do it. All right. And now a few words from this guy. All right, guys. So as everybody knows that's listening in tonight, all three of you, we had a pretty big controversial show, to say the least, last week. I received many messages from guys asking if I was looking in on the comments and everything going on with the show, and I didn't. I finally did take a quick glance. I couldn't keep up with it, but I saw a lot of things that were just absurd. Absurd. You know how to spell that, JB?
Not real sure. ABSER.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right, let's skip it. So anyway, I've taken some notes here, and I want to go into a few things. So here we go. So after going through reading them, I decided it would be best for me as the spokesman for FP to find an outlet to air my opinion on the who's better subject. I needed to find the very best means to do this, JB. And, then it hit me, FP Radio, right?
Absolutely. Great outlet for that.
Right. So here's the headlines about all the controversy of who's better, which style of play, all that. Here it is. You ready?
Lay it on me.
I don't care. As a guy that's played numerous sports competitively, invented numerous sports and competitive games, organized and directed leagues locally and nationally since about the age of 15, or roughly 36 years running, have a trophy room so large that I had to start a plastics recycling center in order to make more room for more trophies. And friends are acquainted with a couple thousand players in the sport from multiple eras, personally know the men that forged the standards still in use today for all styles of the sport, have played in 7 national championship games, pitching 4 of those, more than 10 Final Fours, and won countless tournament championship titles. I can say I know a few things. Furthermore, I've participated in leagues of all formats, all rules, from all eras, played in every major U.S. metropolitan area almost, mainly except Seattle and maybe Minneapolis. I can say, as well as a handful of others just as qualified as me, that I don't care. There is nothing to prove to anyone at any time. Proof is history. History is proof. I go to bed every night, JB. Well, maybe 5 nights a year, knowing that the teams and players I've competed against in my 30 some odd years of playing this quirky sport are the best and are the most competitive and have been the most talked about, most celebrated, most documented in every media outlet from coast to coast, on TV, in newspaper, magazine, documentaries, and even my most hated media outlet of them all, ESPN, multiple times. And lastly, the years of 95 through 2009 were, without question, the greatest years in the sport's 60-some-odd year history. The USPPBA, FP, Yard Ball, the NJWA, the North American Wiffle Ball Championship, Cincinnati, and Wiffle Up were the kings. Tens of thousands of players choosing to play in these venues cannot be wrong. FP had 22 regions just over 10 years ago. That's 22 different areas of the country all choosing to play the exact same game. You follow me so far, JB, or are you asleep over there?
No, I'm with you.
All right.
with you.
Next. I've read and heard comments multiple times over the last couple of months that the current existing format should come together and hold a championship of champions. I, being the last sole voice of Fast Plastic and being of sound mind, have this to say on this absurd subject. There's that word again. Absurd.
Absurd.
The very reason that Fast Plastic exists is because of the efforts made by all the leagues and all of the organizations of the 90s through the 2000s. It was a mass coming together, forming the USPPBA, which then transitioned into Fast Plastic, or FP as we call it. So this means Fast Plastic is your voice, the player's ultimate product, the voice of the players for the players, and is why Fast Plastic is about the game. When these players voted to form the new rules of play, voted on tournament format, voted to form the National Wiffle League, which in its earliest form was called National Championship Wiffle Ball, or NCW, they did not choose base running. They voted for the freedom to use the ball and bat of their choice. They wanted a well-detailed 90-degree field with target strike zones and separate backstops, all of which did not exist prior, and all of which, guess what, are all now used by leagues and organizations today abroad. Many of you were still shitting in diapers while guys like Palanzar, Coyle, Ewald, Locascio, Alessi, DeMacy, Vitale, Ferroli, Cook, Wynn, Torella, Alvine, Bastido, Dean, and even a guy named Bruce Christie, among others, built the games you now know. These same players came up through the ranks, playing all styles, all formats, all locations, and winning every time. They understood which dynamics, which attributes of the sport were the best, and mastered them all. This passion and the skill sets of these players have been handed down to the fast pitch players of today. And to end this ridiculous horseshit debate, Fast Plastic has placed a huge sum of money on the table this year, enough to cover a team's hotel rooms, food, airfare, drinks, party time, and rehab if needed. $10,000. How much is that, JB?
That's $10,000. That's a lot of dinero.
That is. The dates have been on the calendar since February, guys. February. So whatever league you play in, whatever your rules are, wherever you're from, I think you need to listen up. If you think you're a good player, a champion, a stud, the best, have a chip on your shoulder, proclaiming your dominance, then stop talking trash on internet chats and prove it. Or shut the hell up and go away. Back under your rock, back to your boring world, back to where you can brag to your little sister about your prowess, because we don't care. On the other hand, if you're not the best, you can't contend for a title, don't understand the difference between national and local, stay home. Fast Plastic doesn't want you. Don't waste our time. FP has been and will always be about giving the very best players a field to showcase their talents using the best rules against the best players from around the country. It's about having an opportunity to win a true national championship title. This year, 2018, FP will once again achieve this monumental feat. While other tournaments come and go and may showcase several great players, they still fall short from a national perspective and are lacking in talent from top to bottom. So listen closely, nerds, weekend warriors, wannabes, media whores, posers, and scabs. Give up this debate and move on. Guys, I could really care less, and this will be the last time, you hear anything on this subject from me. You're either a player or you're not. All right, JB, I'm done.
All right. Well, I think you summed it up pretty well. And I just want to end it with one quick note on here, okay?
Do that.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Hello, Carl. Tell everyone about your podcast.
Feel comfortable here. You kind of think this is a really good league here. It's only a football league. And as soon as I moved here,
So, Carl, how long have you been playing?
I tried to launch a league. Just tried to launch a league without knowing anyone but besides high school friends, and it just failed miserably. So I was like, let's do it right. Let's get enough people so we know we can have a successful league.
Hey, Carl.
FP fans, don't get coffeed. Make sure your phone connection's clear when you call the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Public safety announcement right there.
Is that what it is, JB?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, public safety first.
Absolutely. And I
Wow.
can't think that you summed that up any better. I mean, that's perfect. Perfect.
Don't get me wrong. Everybody needs to play. I don't care where you play, how you play. I don't care. But in this stupid crap about who's better, the way you find out is you compete. All right, what's next here?
Well, I can tell you what's next if you really, really, really want to know.
Okay.
Do you have a shirt that you really love?
Do you have a
One that
shirt?
You feel so groovy in. You don't even mind if it starts to fade. That only makes it nicer still. I love my shirt.
So it's the shirt of the week time.
It is shirt of the week. Very good.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you reminded me because I think I had already forgotten about the shirt of the week.
Absolutely. So what's the shirt of the week?
All right, give me a second here.
All right, we're going to give you 1 second. And that's it.
All right, so pardon me while I whip this out. Yeah, that's what I should say.
Going, gone. That's what it says right there on the front.
So this is a shirt that I won playing in a beach tournament in San Diego, playing on the sand on the beach, swinging yellow bats on little bitty, skinny, pie-shaped fields. It was an awesome tournament. It was sponsored by a micro brewery.
Okay.
and sponsored by Fast Plastic, believe it or not. So I'll
Aha.
flip it around here.
Yeah, what's the back look like? Going, gone, wiffle ball. Bring it.
Yeah, so that was a great tournament. August 29th, 1999. A team called Team Fletch used to win that every year. They would dress up like Fletch, the Chevy Chase character.
Absolutely. Fletch lives.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a good tournament, a lot of fun. I used to go down there and hang out and play some ball.
Cool. Absolutely cool.
All right. Let's keep the show moving here. We got any other vital info we need to get into here?
I just want to throw out for the people that just tuned in, we hit 1,100 views on Facebook. We thank you for that, and be sure and share it again. Let's keep it growing. 1,100, that's pretty awesome for our 15th show of the year. Let's keep that growing. Let's keep it going. I want to see 2,000. That's what I'm wanting to see.
We'll get there. It's gonna. I'm gonna venture to say that we'll be up near 5,000 by the time we get maybe August. So just give it some time. All right. Well, time we got, JB.
It is 27 after the hour.
We're right on schedule. So you want to go ahead and bring in our next guest?
Absolutely. Stand by.
So, guys, as always, remember to get registered for the Fast Plastic Texas Open NCT, scheduled for October 6th, Frisco, Texas, Columbus Day weekend. We've got quite a few teams signed up already. Honestly, I haven't checked it to see if any new registrations since the last tournament, but quite a few spots already filled. So thanks, guys, for hitting us up on that early registration.
Absolutely. Register early and often. That's what I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we've got Tim Cook on the line here, and Tim is, I guess he's got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Tim, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing? Billy, that was a inspired editorial piece there.
Well, thanks, Tim. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I do.
So you got quite a bit of a layout coming here for the show tonight. I'm ready to get into that and see what happens here. So you want to explain what we're going to do?
Yeah, so what we're going to do first is we have our next Mid-Atlantic Wiffle Ball Tournament coming up on Saturday, June 16th. We've sold out. We have 10 teams. That's all we can accept at our current two-field facility. So because 10 teams is a odd number and we've only got a limited amount of sunlight during the day, we're going to pick the schedule out of a hat, and we're going to do that matrix style. So basically, every team is still going to play 3 round-robin games, but we've made 3 different tiers that we're going to pick the teams out of. And that's what Billy and JB are going to do on the air so we can get the schedule created and it's all done in the fairest way possible. The reason we want to do the round robin portion this way is we don't want a team such as the Inhumans to have to face a group like Earl, Cloud9, and the With His Life guys. So we're trying to balance it and really have the best teams make it through to the playoffs. So any team that goes 2-1 or 3-0 is automatically guaranteed to get through to the playoffs. If there's only, I don't think this scenario can happen, if there's only a couple of 3-0 teams and then the rest are all 1 and 2s, we will go through all of our tiebreakers and move the teams on that way. So if you guys want to get started, we can do get these picks underway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let me make sure that I've got my material correct. So I've got 10 wiffle balls numbered 1 through 10. First of all, is that correct?
That is correct.
Right on. So we'll get it started then. JB, you got your ball sack in hand?
Well, give me just a second. I got to reposition to get my ball sack, okay?
All right. There it is, guys. JB now has his ball sack
I have
in
my
hand.
ball sack now. Okay.
So, Tim, go ahead and prompt JB. Tell him what he needs to do, and you take it from here.
All right. So, JB, the first three teams in the first tier are Cloud9, My Name is Earl, and the Stompers. So we want to take the first three balls, turn them over so that we can't see the numbers.
One at a time, JB.
And
all right, the first ball is ball number 3.
Wait a second.
And
is this
that will be Cloud9.
The second ball.
Let me show.
All right, the second ball is ball number 8.
Okay, well, that we got to just do the first three balls first.
Okay, well,
and then we do 4 through 7, and then 8 through 10. That's on me. I wasn't clear enough.
okay, so how about ball number 2 then?
Ball number 2 is My Name is Earl. And that means we don't have to pick ball number 1 because that will be the Stompers. So now we're going to move to balls 4, 5, 6, and 7.
All right, ball number 5.
That is going to be the Ridley Park Long Balls, number 1.
Ball number 6.
That will be Ridley Park, number 2.
Number 7.
That will be the With His Life Wave.
Ball number 4.
That will be the York Yaks.
Ball number 10.
That will be the Barrel Bruisers.
Ball number 8.
That will be the Inhumans.
And last but not least, ball number 9.
That will be In the Box. So what we will have is right now, behind the scenes, Paul is compiling everything, and we will get the matchups out on social media this evening. We'll get all those out, and then you'll know exactly who you're playing. In fact, I think all right, so here we go. So, Billy, do we just want to run down the list of teams and talk about that?
Yeah, I would say if you know the matchups, like the individual games, you can just call them out, and then you start commenting, on it. And if I have anything to add, I will, and we'll go from there. That's all right.
All right. So in round robin play, the Stompers will be taking on Cloud9, the Ridley Park Long Balls blue team, and In the Box. So that's a pretty interesting set of games. If you were asking me about the two favorites to win the tournament, Cloud9 is one of them. The other would be My Name is Earl. A little bit about Cloud9. They won the Fast Plastic Texas Open in 2017. This will be the first time they're playing together in 2018. A lot of talent on that team. Very deep pitching. It should be. They should be competitive all day, and I imagine they will. They will advance pretty far.
Yeah. Are you expecting the full roster, Cloud9, Tim?
Yeah. So it is going to be Kevin Norris, Ty Wegerson, Ed Packer, and Sean Steffi.
Yeah. One thing I can tell guys about Cloud9, be prepared, guys. They have really, really bad haircuts. So be ready.
So one of the other opponents of the Stompers, the Ridley Park Long Balls. I'm going to talk about both of the Ridley Park teams at the same time because they really are just bringing their 10 best players from their league. So back in May, the Ridley Park guys came down and they really opened some people's eyes. They had a real nice showing. They went 2-2. They got into a play-in game to get the 4th spot in the playoffs, and they lost that to the team that would eventually lose in the championship. But it was really great to see the younger guys come out and compete. They brought a 16 or 17-year-old kid. They had multiple pitchers. Like at least 4 of their guys were able to pitch. And you just don't see that, as much anymore. You didn't really see it back in the day. I mean, Bill, you're the guy who would know that best. I mean, on the long shot, it was you or it wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. So where exactly is Ridley Park Crew? Where are they from?
So they're a little bit outside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
They are an NWLA affiliate league. They came and came and watched at the Indoor Winter Classic because one of their main players was playing with, I think it was Jimmy Cole's team. And so we were finally able to get him. We wanted him to come last year, but things just didn't line up. And we finally got them down in May, and they really had a great time and, really showed up. So I'm expecting them to be competitive all day. And they did a really good job hitting as well last time. Sometimes it takes newer teams, not even just a couple of games, a couple of tournaments to, really get a feel for hitting. And they came out of the gates pretty fast.
Yeah.
So
So what about
the other team?
Wait a second, Tim. I'm sorry. I'm curious. Stompers. What's the Stompers roster going to be for the tournament?
So we'll have our full squad. Tim Cook, Paul Cook, Nick Schaefer, Jordan Robles, Chris Sarno, and Dan Eisenberg. So
Okay.
we will be fully staffed.
Fully gunned, so to speak, ready to go. That's good.
Yep. I'm not going to broadcast our plans for our team, but I got a good idea of how we're going to tackle each game, and we'll show up prepared as always.
I'm predicting the first game between Cloud9 and Stompers. We'll probably see. Oh man, I bet it's Wiggerson, Sarno. No, yeah, Wiggerson, Sarno. That's my prediction. What do you think?
All right, mark that down, and we will see in 2 weeks if Billy O is correct.
Yeah, is that any of these games? Are we going to be able to look in and watch any of them, by the way?
Yeah, so the reason we're doing the draw tonight is so that we have enough time to properly schedule all the games to make sure we are able to stream, the stream of the vast majority of them. I'm not sure exactly how many we're going to be able to do throughout the day, but Paul's been working diligently to get to make that happen. So yes, this will be we're hoping to have games throughout the day on either on Periscope or YouTube. We'll see what we're able to do over the next week and a half.
Okay, and then my last bit of input on that first set of teams is, first of all, I can't say enough about Tommy Locascio getting back out and playing. Man, that's awesome. And even more awesome is that he's playing with his son, right? Isn't that the
yeah. So it's pretty cool. We got 5 signs hanging up on the right field wall on Sheffield. And we will, after Saturday the 16th, we will have had 2 of those Hall of Famers pictured, not only playing in the tournament, but under a picture with them underneath their signs, which is so awesome. Here's what I'll say about Tom. He, like you said, he is great. The first thing he told us is he's bringing a Loco bat for each of the 10 teams free of charge.
Nice.
That's classic Tom. That is amazing. That is really, truly a selfless ambassador of the game.
Yeah, it is. That's great.
So he told me, and this is a quote, he's going to be playing with his son Gianni, and he said, quote, "This will give Gianni an experience he will never forget," end quote. And to me, that tells me that Tom is coming to win.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'm just sorry I'm not going to be there to strike him out 3 or 4 times. No.
So that is the other thing, and I think we had a little bit of this proven at the second tournament, is just because you've had some time off doesn't necessarily mean you're going to come back with rust. We had Dave Capobianco, who hadn't played in about 10 years at like a highly competitive level, and he came back after a layoff and came back really strong. So, Tom, he's been through it all. He is a guy who will take the ball every single game of every single pitch, even at his current age, and just go with it. And that was pretty rare back in the day. It's certainly rare now, and we can't be more happy than to have the box back.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
Here's a teaser. The rumor for July is going to have another in the box former player down for the 14th. I'm hearing that Joe Nord will be coming down and could be playing with the York Yaks. So that will be something that we'll see play out in the next couple weeks.
Holy cow. Wow. That'll be interesting.
So let's look at some of the other round-robin games that really stand out. So My Name is Earl is going to play the With His Life Waves. So the With His Life Waves, we met 3 of these guys last July at a tournament outside of Pittsburgh. We needed a couple extra players, and they said they would be in. Great guys, really good players, and we're going to actually run a tournament out there in August, where they're from, Canonsburg, which is right outside of Pittsburgh. But I wouldn't be shocked if these guys had a top 4 finish a week from Saturday. Jake Davey, Mike Graziani, I called him Matt the whole day last July until the end of the day when, someone, I guess Paul or Shirey said, the kid's name is Mike. And I'm like, oh, God, I'm an idiot. And so the 2 of them played with us early in the day, and then they called up their friend Jordan Castelli, who was at football practice all day, and he came out and he pitched the semifinals for us. So let me just tell you a little bit about the 3 of them. Jake is an elite fielder. We only played with him for 5 or 6 games, but he made every play seem simple. He has what we know up in Mid-Atlantic as Dan Potter potential for defense. He's also a lefty, and he's got good power. He went opposite field in the quarterfinals and made it look easy. Mike, he's another pitcher. He throws strikes, pounds the zone. I imagine he'll be on the mound for a couple of games. And I don't want to overhype or psych anyone out, but watch for Jordan Castelli on the 16th, on the mound specifically. I think this kid has potential, just great potential. That's all I'll say for now. And
Okay.
we don't know their other two guys. If they're as good or better than the three guys I just talked about, they're going to be one hell of a team.
Well, I've watched a couple of Palisades games of the week and featuring Connor Young, and he's been pitching really well there, and I know he's had a couple good outings there in Mid-Atlantic, so that team's getting tougher by the day. My name is Earl, so I guess if I was a gambling man, I might be throwing some money down on them, so hopefully they have a good run there. Who's next, Tim?
Yeah. So, one of the funny things about Earl is they just had terrible luck the first tournament. They had what was by far the tougher bracket of the two. And they went 1-2 with a -1 run differential. And then, so they lost 2 1-0 games, and they won their one game 1-0. Literally one pitch and or hit away from the finals in the second tournament. They've got deep pitching. They won't have Blake Hoffman on the 16th, but they will have Dan Whitner, who made his debut in May, and him and Connor are a terrific 1-2, and they will bring it.
That'll be a good team to watch.
Yeah, so let's see. Moving down, teams haven't I talked about yet? Okay, so the York Yaks, they will be playing My Name is Earl, Ridley Park Long Balls Blue, and In the Box. So the Yaks, they, as you talked to Mildy earlier, he's going to be at a wedding. I think back in the day, he would have been booed off the field for attending a wedding over a wiffle ball event. I've known quite a few people who have, burned off either girlfriends or wives because what's the most important thing to be doing on the weekend? It's wiffle ball. So that really leaves the Yaks with a big question, and that's, will Jared Bull be available to pitch? He wasn't available back in May because he was working through a shoulder issue. So, Bull, is he, ready to give, 1 or 2 games? I think that'll really tell the story of the Yaks tournament a week from Saturday. Let's see. The Barrel Bruisers, they're a team that has played in every single Mid-Atlantic wiffle ball tournament. Unfortunately, they won't have their best pitcher, Chris Owen, on the 16th. But if there's one thing about the Bruisers, and this really lives through their captain, Jerry Hill, they're not going down without a fight. So any team that plays them, and that is Earl, the With His Life Waves, and the Inhumans, don't take them lightly, even down their best pitcher. Jerry brings that positive, just really good energy, and he is not going to give up until the last strike is thrown and the final out is made.
Yeah. Yep. He's a good guy too, man.
Really good guys. Yeah, it's we got a lot of really, really good guys play up here, and it's been really cool to see how this has evolved over the last year. I mean, it's funny to think back in 2002, 2003, in Philadelphia area, Wiffle Up, could pull 36 teams easy to, just a tournament in June and then run again in August. And, since we came back, it's been a slow but steady pace. And we're really starting to see everything pay off with a lot of this Mid-Atlantic area talent getting down to York, Pennsylvania.
So, Tim, we got about 3.5 minutes or so. Is there any other key matchups you see there that's noteworthy that maybe we should shout out and get guys put some attention to?
No, I mean, I think we covered everyone. The Inhumans, they're our 10th team. They were a really young team. Their ace, Cameron, he's only 13, although he's taller than I was at 18 or 20. He's still developing. He's really got, like, you can see him having a ton of potential 3 or 4 years down the line once he really fine-tunes everything. So they're going to be at a disadvantage. But again, they're another team that is going to go out, play hard, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. Well, good, man.
So like I said, we'll get this. We'll get the whole schedule for every team out on social media, and we'll any matchups that I skipped over, not on purpose. It's just we don't have enough time to go through every single one.
Yeah, and guys, get out there, midatlanticwiffle.com. You can follow what's going on there with the tournaments and history, things like that. It's a great website, a lot of good video. Get registered in one of those great tournaments. You will love the fields. It's a great setup, a lot of great guys. They know what they're doing, so I highly recommend it. And by the way, Tim, little nostalgia facts. I know you like history. I used wiffle balls that were from the 2007 Home Run Derby in Austin. That's why they have the FP marked on them. How about that?
Beautiful. I know when Paul and I were down in Benton last June around this time, I think. We saw Billy's not joking when he said he's got a room that's completely dedicated to all of his wiffle ball stuff. And in fact, I think the room's now the radio room. But when we were down there, it was completely filled with memorabilia, trophies, all that stuff that was said earlier is the God's honest truth.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of stuff, but I'm sure there's some guys out there that's got far more than me. But it's just nice to sit back and look at things and all those great memories and great friends you made over the years, and you get to look at a ball like this and think, oh, yeah, that's where I struck Tom Locascio out 6 times in one game. So, no. Tom and I are big rivals going way back. I like to give him a hard time. So, anyway.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Tim, thanks a million for coming on. And also, you need to get with JB and me, and we need to get you guys a permanent spot as far as promoting, the Mid-Atlantic tournaments, get an ad spot going for you guys. And then also the last thing is, Tim, if you want to go ahead and tell us, you're going to have a regular spot here on the show, correct?
Yep. So, I've thought about a few names for the segment. We use the drop on Mid-Atlantic Wiffle as like our news and information thing. I'm thinking maybe that, but I've got maybe 20 or 30 different topics that I want to talk about and hear people's opinions on. And we're thinking about, a weekly or a bi-weekly segment, that talks about these things. I mean, one of the ideas, one of the topics that really boggles my mind are, what I would call, quote, the yellow bat truthers. The guys who say, you can't use anything but the yellow bats because that's how wiffle ball was made to be played. Give me a break.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. So yeah, it's going to be some great shows coming up. So guys, be sure to listen in on that. Tim's got a long history of being able to bring up these controversial type subjects. So we've invited him onto the show, and it'll be fun. So thanks again, Tim, for coming on. And
thanks, Tim.
Yep, thank you guys for having me. Highly enjoyed it.
All right.
You'll have to let us know how that tournament turns out, okay?
Will do.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
All right, Tim Cook.
Yeah, we ran a little long there, but we'll try to make it up here. So
we need to take a quick break.
Let's do that. Go into breaks, and as soon as we get back, I'm going to get into a real quick. I want to touch on a subject, something real quick, and then we're going to move on with our next guest.
Absolutely. We'll be right back after this quick break.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Now the pitch. That's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
I am Adam Milstead, and my favorite station is Fast Plastic Radio.
My name is Inigo Montoya, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio. This is Babs from Chico, California, and Big Flies, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio.
This is Sylvie Serrano, Oakland, California, and I listen to FP Radio. And Carl Coffey. I'm Jim Balling. I'm from Peoria, Arizona, and The Rock is my favorite wiffle ball network, hands down.
Jared Lamp, founder, owner of Moonshot Bats, Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
This is Ed Packer, defending Texas Open champion, and you're listening to 93.5 WROC The Rock, home of Fast Plastic Radio.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
Absolutely. It's about the game, and we're back.
We are back, JB, just like Fast Plastic is back.
Absolutely.
So, I received an email a while back from an old whiffler, a guy that's been playing for a long time, and I promised him that I would shed some light on his playing days because, guys, this guy has been doing this a long time. He's a dedicated, hardcore guy. He used to play back in the USPPBA days. But JB, you brought his name up earlier tonight, Chad Heflin.
Yeah, he actually shared our broadcast.
Yeah. So he's been playing since 1982 competitively. I think he said he was probably around 12 years old, and he's still going strong today. I saw something from him a few days ago that was kind of impressive where he was naming something. I can't remember exactly what it is. But anyway, I just wanted to touch a few highlights here I have about his playing days. Again, this is Chad Heflin. He's from the Carlisle, Pennsylvania area. He says he enjoyed a brief stint playing professionally for 4 years. Talking about in the USPPBA, maybe the fast pitch tournaments from the 90s and into the Fast Plastic. He says one of his favorite memories was playing against the Lakeside Kings and the legend Jerome Coyle, in which on consecutive pitches, he knocked over the legend's beer can down the first base line. We'll see if you know Ledge, that's bad news right there. For those 4 years he played, he batted .370, had a .485 on base percentage. That's pretty good, guys, when you're facing great pitching. He's overall, he says he's won 26 Pennsylvania one-on-one championships. He's close to hitting in his league now, guys. He's close to hitting 18,000 home runs. What's impressive about what Chad does is he logs all the data from every game he's ever played, and he's able to compile these statistics, which is very impressive. He even has a championship ring that has 14 diamonds on it that represents his 14 no-hitters. The longest home run that he has hit to date measured about 173 feet. That's pretty good, considering most of those years were during the mush ball era where you couldn't hit a ball out of the infield most of the time. Over the years, he says he's seen it change, the game change from self-hitting, as first described in the Wiffle Ball Company's instructions, to running of bases, to the aluminum bat phase, and then using pitching machines to run leagues. In the end, he hopes to continue mentoring the youth in the community today, and that will spawn a new generation of players that grow up to love the sport. So, JB, what more could you ask for from a dedicated guy playing since the late 70s?
Sounds like a great career right there.
Chad Heflin, guys. Check him out, say hello to him on Facebook, and thank him for being dedicated and one of the guys that's helped us get to where we are today.
Absolutely. Got to throw a big shout out to Chad for that. He's a legend.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
So what else we got now, JB? We're still running behind.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind, not too bad, but we've got Brett Bevilacqua coming up next here on the Fast Plastic Radio.
We
Network.
do. I think Brett, he holds the lead. He's the league leader now on visits to the show.
He is. Actually, he is. So I just want to throw out again 1,100 views on Facebook. Thank you for sharing it. And I would ask you to continue to share it so we can grow our viewing audience out here and make us the best wiffle ball network out there.
Yeah, and special thanks to Montega Montoya.
Absolutely.
For viewing it 1,000 times. We appreciate that.
Money well spent.
Yeah, so while JB brings in Palisades Brett, I just want to cover this. I had it slated for later, but I'm going to knock it out right now and save some time. So National Wiffle League, Eastern Tennessee, a lot of chat going on over that, guys. Tim Stewart is the man down there. Tim, this is your official invite to come on the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Tell us all about your championship, how it works, what players can expect. Let's promote it. Let's get some guys to show up and play some ball down there in Tennessee. I'd like nothing more to see it grow down there. So get a hold of me. Let's get you on where you can answer some questions, because a lot of guys are curious, including me. Hell, I may show up. So let's do it. Brett is on the line, and he said he's not going to – we're not going to coffee him, but he said he may coffee himself. Yeah, don't get coffeed.
I'll coffee the shit out of you guys.
Oh, so what's going on tonight, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing great. How about you? The show so far has been fantastic.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, it seems to be going pretty well compared to last week. I'll tell you this, when we wrapped up last week, to me, that was one of the worst shows ever, one of the worst things I'd ever done. I was very unhappy. A lot of guys said it was awesome, but me personally, I wasn't very happy. So hopefully I'm a very happy camper when we complete things this week. So.
Oh, no, I'm going to bring this show. I'll bring the whole show down. So give me a chance.
Show
you think
killer.
last week was bad? Yeah. That's my nickname. The show killer.
So we're going to give you a platform here, Brett, and the show is yours right now. It's all yours. So.
Well, isn't that fantastic? I think after hearing your open, I might be going in a totally different direction than you. So are you sure you really want to give me the forum?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm never one to shy away from controversy. So let me just say this. Before we get started, this is an opinion piece. I do not speak for players who play in Palisades. Some players may agree with me, others may not. Just wanted to talk about the topic, which seemed to be a common theme over the last week. The two styles in question, and that they're completely different styles. To me, this seems to be a sort of new attitude. I haven't heard this. There was a time, even recently, where I was told that I didn't do enough on the national stage because I don't know, I'm really not sure. I wasn't part of the NWLA, or I didn't send a team to their tournament, but I never really asked why, so I'm not really sure what that meant. And I guess the documentary This Month in Wiffle Ball, Game of the Week, the league, that wasn't enough, but I don't want to get off track here. So anyway, in the last week, it seems that opinion has kind of changed as I read over and over and over that we're all playing a completely different game now. And what I'm referencing is the Facebook comments after last week's Fast Plastic Radio show. Early on in the debate, I was told to stop acting special for not disrupting the Palisades season to play in a tournament that is run by an organization Palisades is not even associated with. In fact, the word feud has really been overused any time the two organizations are mentioned in the same sentence. Quite frankly, I'm not stopping anyone from playing there or anywhere else. And there's, as you know, I'm actively trying to push people to play in certain places. But officially, I wouldn't send a Palisades team there. If Palisades guys want to go play, go ahead. Just don't take the league name with you. That's really my only thing. I'm not a part of that, and I don't know why that even came up. But who knows? So, but while I agree in some respects that the game format style is different, in other respects, I strongly disagree. My main point in that discussion, which was patently ignored, most of us, Palisades, Fast Plastic, Mid-Atlantic, Golden Stick, at least 50, maybe as many as 80% have played in a clean ball, yellow bat, base running event. Multiple events. This is wiffle ball. The game at the higher level is simply a battle between pitcher and batter. Anything other than that is just to keep the guys not pitching occupied between at bats. I'm not saying they're not important to the game, but the essence of the game, at least in terms of anyone who considers himself a competitive whiff player, is pitcher versus batter. College football players move from college to the pros, different ball, many different rules. And in some cases, the best players hit the ground running and make an impact and are even very successful. So, you know, the nuances that they can be, it's wiffle ball, it's wiffle ball, it's wiffle ball. That's kind of what I'm getting at. And as I kept reading, I noticed the comments sounded more like excuses, and I'm going to break that down. And I do have some proof to back up what I'm going to say. To me, one of the most misinformed statements is that clean ball would put guys who play in Palisades and the like at a disadvantage. My first piece of evidence is the No Hocus Pocus Palisades pitching video. It features pitching from our 2015 season. A third, maybe more of those pitches are clean balls. There may be 20 guys in Palisades who have a clean slider or screw in their arsenal. I can go all the way back to 2011. Rich Galad. This kid had a clean screwball that was devastating. He since doesn't have the same arm, but it's what happens when you throw 1,000 innings a season. So just to be clear, throwing or hitting a clean ball is not something new to people who play in Palisades and all the other leagues, and I'm sure that's similar in Fast Plastic. And honestly, I'm not trying to be a dick about all this, but I've watched video from NWLA leagues, and I have yet to see that nasty, clean, late-breaking slider or that bail-out-of-the-box screwball to a lefty. Maybe I missed it. If you're listening, feel free to post it up and even send me the link. I'd love to see it. Next up, hitting a ball with a yellow bat is hard. I agree with that statement. But I also personally think that the yellow bat is the most pointless piece of equipment in any bat and ball game. That's just my opinion. I don't think a lot of people share that. Maybe they do. I don't care. It's just how I feel. But that brings me to an interesting piece of information. I went to the stats, the Palisades WBL stats at scuffstats.com, and the NWLA tournament website. There are a handful of players who have played in both Palisades and the NWLA tournament, and none of them are scrubs. If you check the career stats on both sides of the guys who have played both Palisades and the NWLA tournament, you will find something very, very interesting. Of the 7 players who have played both, 6 have a higher average in their NWLA tournament career than in their Palisades WBL career. And on average, they are hitting 90 points higher in the NWLA tournament. What does that mean? I don't know. But stats are stats. Of those players, only one has similar plate appearances, 115 in the NWLA, 127 in Palisades. He has 11 home runs in the NWLA, 5 in the Palisades. It's really a small sample size, just 7 players, only 100 and something plate appearances. But if yellow bats were some kind of advantage or disadvantage, you would think that the yellows would dominate when they use the bigger bats. So to say that it is harder to hit with a yellow bat is true, but the fact that guys who have played both hit on average 90 points higher in the NWLA, and the only player with similar plate appearances has twice as many home runs with a yellow bat than with a big bat, that kind of throws the whole argument out the window. Finally, there is base running. As I said, most of us have played base running wiffle. Most of us in Palisades have played high school baseball. Some even went beyond that. So as for the scuffing debate, we've all played with clean balls. We've all used the yellow bats. And again, we've all run bases. So some of these claims, to me, are a little bit off base. So now, all this may seem harsh and combative, and that's not my intent. I'm happy that people have a format that they enjoy. And by all accounts, people enjoy what they're doing out there in the Midwest in the middle of the summer. What I don't enjoy is guys from a 2-strike, you're out league. That's right, 2 strikes. Tripping on our game of the week, the Palisades is garbage. It's your opinion, but it's a 2-strike league. What I find ludicrous is guys from 6-team NWLA leagues saying they would embarrass anyone who steps on their field. 6 teams is really not a big pool of players. It's great that you have 6 teams, but I don't know if you're going to get as much talent as you think you're going to have. And I just think it's a little bit, a little boastful, in my opinion. And, not so long ago, I was chastised for calling Palisades the best league in the nation. I was told that I was creating a divide in wiffle. I don't agree. I think that a lot of other leagues say a lot more, in my opinion, crazy things. But that's kind of where we're at. I know I was a little bit all over the place, but, I'm trying to put all this together, and I'm constantly confused by the call people out, but you can't play in my tournament. That kind of thing. That's what I read over and over again. And I don't understand it. Why? And again, another thing that bothers me too is a lot of people that were, I know there's guys that I see playing Palisades. They were, of course, calling people out, but it became a thing where the other side was saying, yeah, we'll kick your ass, but it wasn't the guy who was going to play. So there were people making deals for other people to play, which I found, I didn't like that. So as many of the guys I played alongside with for the past 11 years would say, lace them up. You don't need to scuff to get people out. You are using a bat 3 times the size, and you don't need to run. The Fast Plastic Tournament is October 6th. It won't get in the way of your season, and there's $10,000 on the line. What more do you need? And that's really all I got to say. Maybe I went too far, but it was something I wanted to talk about. And I'm always going to say something that, not always, but most of the time I'm going to say something that's going to rub some people the wrong way. And that's just what I do. But, the eye test to me is, I'm not seeing it. I don't understand these challenges. And there's a spot for everyone to go. So $10,000.
Yeah.
What more do you need?
Well said. I would have to concur.
I would absolutely agree with that, Brett.
After I heard the open, I think, I didn't want to step on anyone's toes, but it's to me, there were a lot of challenges thrown out there.
Oh yeah,
Texas ain't that hard to get to. You're close to an airport. You can get cheap flights. I mean, I wish I didn't. I'd like to go back 10 years. And the whole reason I started, a lot of people know this, but I'll say it again. Palisades was started specifically to play and get good enough to play in fast plastic. Well, it was really started because we couldn't get a baseball game together. Then it became wiffle ball, and then it became a documentary. And then I went to Boston. Well, I went to New Jersey first, and I seen that, the jaw on the floor, and then I did Cedar Park, and that was unbelievable. And really, that was the reason for. I never got into this to do a league, but I got into this to get good enough to play in fast plastic, and one thing led to another, and I certainly get why you stopped, Bill, but that's kind of my thing. It's you got the chance right now. Who knows? We may not all be here next year, or it may not go on. I'm sure it will go on, but you never know. I started something to play in fast plastic, and by the time I was ready, it wasn't there anymore. So,
yeah,
you got the chance now, and there's a lot of money. I didn't even know you guys paid anyone out.
Yeah. A little bit of cash out there from King Racing Stables this year. So
what a great guy.
I think the bottom line of this, Brett, is put your money where your mouth's at. If you think you've got the team, show up in Texas.
Yeah, and why say anything if you're not going to at least do that?
Absolutely.
And I know there were guys last year from NWLA there, but they're not the guys chirping on this. It's a bunch of guys who never went, and it was also guys saying that I'm no good anymore. I'm not. It would be like me challenging people. I only play in the Palisades minor league.
Yeah.
So why? That's what. And maybe that I put all this out there. I'm acting like I'm challenging someone, but the truth is, you want to say you're the best or you're going to embarrass people. Here's the place. I mean, and $10,000. I mean, to me, in the old days when it was more teams, if I could have put together something that got in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8, I would have been. I'd do cartwheels on the field, and you'd have video of that right now. And just think how many people would show up if you had a fat guy doing cartwheels on your field. So that would be. You guys really missed out on that.
That would definitely be an attraction.
Yeah, shirtless.
So, Brett, I've made a few notes here on your while listening to you.
My manifesto?
They're good. So, you brought up yellow bats. I've been wanting to bring this up on past shows. When we run out of time, I get chewed out by JB for not sticking to the schedule a lot of times. But so yellow bats, I can say that I know many guys that have played the sport, baseball players that have played this sport, the sport of wiffle ball, and because of the yellow bat, these guys thinking that was their sole option, if they wanted to continue playing, they had to keep using this yellow banana bat. They just simply said, I'm done. This is stupid. And they quit playing. I know many guys, especially while I was in the Los Angeles area, so that aspect of the sport alone it's detrimental to what we are trying to do, to get more people to realize that the version of the game that we play is a lot more similar to baseball. So the next thing is the thing I think maybe we might hear Tim Cook go into in a future show. So I don't want to delve in it too deep, but the guys that say that they use the yellow bat because it's the original style, that's the origin, that's how it all started. That's not true. The original,
wood bat, right?
Yeah, it's a wood bat. So if you guys want to be purist, a wood bat compared to that yellow thing, there's a huge difference there, guys. Huge. So you have no ground to stand on with that. And I actually would like to see everybody go back to wood bats. Base running, the next thing. So I played many. Did I say many, JB?
Once or twice.
One more time.
Many. M-I-N-I. Many. No. Many games running bases. As everybody knows, Phoenix, Arizona had a region in fast plastic for years. It was one of the most competitive regions. Several champions came out of there. But to play in Phoenix, you had to run bases. They were grandfathered in. The only region that we grandfathered in to the FP-USPPBA system that allowed base running. But the reason why we allowed it is because it was a very, very professional approach, the way the game was played. I enjoyed it. However, I also played in yard ball, which I spoke about in my rant earlier, which was the absolute worst. It was a free-for-all. Everybody understood that against 90% of the teams playing, once you hit the ball, you kept running. You did not stop. That's what drives people away from the sport. And that's why overall a base running game is not the right way to go unless you have guys that are well seasoned, understand the full dynamics of it. So again, I've played many times running bases. And lastly, I've experienced this firsthand, is there's a lot of leagues and organizations out there playing that if a guy wanted to get involved and make it to a bigger tournament, they just simply can't. You cannot play. You're blocked. There is no ability to register, sign up, and go. So I don't understand that. Anyway, just some notes.
Back to add on to one of your points. When I got into wiffle ball, it just started in my front yard. We didn't know the rules. We got mad at each other. We started throwing harder. And then someone said, well, I don't know, we were probably like 40 feet away when we started playing, and people were like, this is stupid. So we went and looked up the rules, and we already had, I think we started with a chair. We had a strike zone pretty quick, but I don't think we had it right. I think it was a chair first. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was, though. Yeah, I think it was one of my lawn furniture chairs that is what we started out with. And I was fascinated and happy. I love baseball. I hate to say it, I might even love baseball more than I love wiffle ball. But the thing that puts wiffle ball, at least, on equal levels for me, is there's no umpire. When I was a kid, I pitched. I can't tell you how many times I felt I was getting squeezed because I've always been a big kid, and when I was real small, I threw too hard because I was, like 6 feet at like 11 years old, and everyone else is like 5 feet tall. There's no umpires. There's no base running. There's no umpires. And umpires, to me, like, they ruined my childhood. So that it's something that I really love about what guys like you and the guys that came before you created, that it is what it is. We have arguments here and there, and there's been some stupid plays that should have went the other way. But in my opinion, the NFL, if my favorite NFL team plays about the same amount of games as my wiffle ball team, and there's certainly more questionable calls because of the refs. And in baseball, it's absolutely, now that they've brought in the replay, as a Yankee fan, we were automatically always, still to this day, the Yankees have had the most overturned calls. They're like the Raiders in football, where they walk on the field, they throw a flag. So to me, getting rid of the umpires is a huge, huge, huge plus. And it's why I wouldn't have stuck with this game that long if we did base running and needed people to make those judgment calls, because, even I think the MLB is about a $8.5 billion league now. Umps probably made 15 mistakes tonight.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm going off, but that's one of the things that umpires I don't want. I'm not going to go on, but I'm not a fan.
Well, I'll add to that. The officiating in all the sports is horrific, and it's driven me away from NFL along with some other things. If anybody has been watching the NBA playoffs and championship, the officiating is absolutely horrible. I mean, I'm on the verge of leaving that sport as well because I just can't stand watching guys travel and double dribble and carry the ball and fouling a guy 13 times while he's trying to do a layup. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So these guys are manipulating the sports, our sports, and they're ruining our sports. And thankfully, what we do, Palisades, Fast Plastic, Golden Stick, and others, we use the frontier justice style. We self-officiate, right? And it's always worked.
Yep. Yeah, knife fight in the parking lot if nothing can be agreed on. That's the way we've always done it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, go ahead.
Oh, no, but just because you brought up the NBA, I haven't. I'm a New Yorker. I used to love the Knicks. I rarely miss the game. And then Patrick Ewing one day put his foot on the court when he wasn't in a playoff game, and they threw him out for a game 6 or a game 7. And I've never been able to go back. I don't know if it was you I was talking to or someone else, and they were. I think it was one of my friends from New York, and they were talking about the game 7 of the Celtics LeBron's, and they were like, looks like LeBron's going to win. And I still couldn't even bring myself to put on a game 7. And that's just ruined it for me. And that, that's what I'm getting at. That umpires, it's better without them, in my opinion.
Yeah. Right. So we'll shift gears here. First, JB, do we need to take a break or anything?
Here in just a minute we will. Yes.
All right. So I just want to ask you what you got coming up. I know you guys have league play coming up this weekend, right, Brett?
Absolutely.
So I want you to go into a little bit of that and lay it out. Give us progress of Palisades. I've been following it very closely. JB?
The catch here is he's got to do it in the radio voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's important that I get that. I got to work up to that. So let me get my mind right, and I'll bring it out. But we got the Pirates and the White Sox, which they're two teams that are struggling because they really haven't been at full staffed at any point. Really, I think only maybe both of them have put a full team 1 out of 4 weeks. So they're both at 2 and 6. So they're not playing for their season yet. I mean, I guess a split would keep both of them alive, but if one of them sweeps, they're back in the mix. And then the other one, I wouldn't say their season's over, but you're going to have to go on a pretty solid run. And then after that, it's not the game of the week, but it is an interesting game. It's basically one of the bigger rivalries, just because it's old. It's the Brewers and the Dodgers. I used to be a part of the Dodgers. I am more of a figurehead now. I'm still on the team, but I haven't played. If my guys aren't able to make it, maybe I'll step in. But those guys are playing so good right now. I don't want to upset the apple cart over there. And the Brewers, surprisingly, after they sandbagged the waiver wire and got Connor Young, they've been surprisingly good. They might be. I think he's putting Connor. They're putting a lot of innings on Connor, and a lot of people have come into Palisades and said, "Oh, I can pitch 500 innings." There's been very few people. There's been people that have gone the distance and pitched their ass off all season long and through the playoffs, and they are never the same player the next year. So if he's listening, that's the one thing that'll eat arms is that. But go for it both games. Should be a great. Dodgers pitcher Tim Trineri has so far had a renaissance season. He's our all-time K King. He's somewhere. He might even be over 1,200 right now, and he's an older guy, late 30s, and he's been an absolute beast. And I got Whiffman and on the Dodgers, Gerard Fitzgerald on the Brewers, and those are two guys that can really hit. And then the Dodgers, and well, I'll go to the Brewers. Jay Paraskevich, he'll appreciate this. He's having a renaissance season. He's not, you're not going to see him win a batting title, but an older guy who looked like he was at the end of his career is now he's getting meaningful hits. He's won a couple games for them. And then our stud for the Dodgers, Johnny Costa, has been a beast this year. He's doing everything. So after that, the game of the week, Cardinals-Giants. That should be awesome. Yeah, 12-20. You got a bunch of guys from all over the place. Basically, I think almost every name is known by some organization. So there's guys kind of from all over. You got Dave Wegerson, Kevin Norris, Rob Longeroux, Chris Morse. And I don't know who they're going to play, who's going to be like they keep on, there's always a different guy seems like there's always a different guy on the roster. But Jimmy Cole was there last week. Will he be there this week? I don't know. But that Cardinals team, pretty damn good. And they're going up against the McElrath brothers and Dave Fisher. Ryan Bush is also on that team, but from what I understand, he will not be there. He was chucking in the 93. He was hitting on the gun on Sunday. So that was some pretty good heat. After that, Diamondbacks Mariners. They're both at 4-4, and the Diamondbacks are they're a good team. So are the Mariners. The Mariners were my pick to win it all, but they haven't really been what I expected. But there's still a long way to go. A lot of games left. And then we do this mixed thing because we have 11 teams. The Expos play the Padres. That's a fantastic matchup. If it was earlier, it is early. If they hadn't both been on, they probably would have been the game of the week. But I couldn't say no to Cardinals Giants. After that, Padres Royals. The Royals are kind of playing for they're a little bit better off than the White Sox and Pirates. But they're kind of playing for their playoff life, and then the Royals again will face the Expos at the end of the day. So, I mean, this year. It's the game of the week is throw a dartboard at the score, the scoreboard, and you're going to run into a good matchup. We've gotten so many great guys over the last 3 years, I guess, and now the minor leagues are starting to pay dividends where the minor leagues is a few years old, and there's guys coming up. There's this kid, Vinny Lee. He's going to be someone you're going to notice. If this other kid, Tim Caulfield, who's been called up about 100 times, he just had back surgery. Hopefully it's nothing permanent, but that's a person you're going to hear about. And that's really what we got going on. If you want to hear about the minor leagues, Magic Lamp got to win some games this week. So that's my minor league team. We're struggling.
Well, my big question will be, does Kevin Norris take the ball for the Cardinals in the game of the week?
No, I don't know this, but my guess is it's Ryan McElrath versus Dave Wegerson.
Okay.
That's my guess. It might be on we tried to get him. As you know, there's some gambling involved, so that we're asking teams to put their starters down so we can get this done. We've done really poorly this week, so I'm going to try to put something together, and I'm going to bounce it off you, Bill, and see where that goes. But we really didn't get a lot of response. The 1 week turnaround makes it very difficult. I think people are, there's not as much time. Yeah. You don't really you're and you're trying to work things out with your family and how you're going to get to the field 2 weeks in a row. And among other things, people are playing other places too. So it's this week has been tricky. So if we have to take the week off, we will, and we'll get back at it for week 6 at the end of the month.
Yeah. All right.
That should be a great game.
Yeah, it will be. Everybody tune in, Facebook Live. Check out Palisades Game of the Week. You can't go wrong.
Absolutely. Brett, you got to keep sending us those ads so we can play them on here, advertise your game of the week.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to advertise it this week because we still don't have any guys in the booth. It's just impossible. It's what the league's become. Even if I was younger, I don't think I'd be able to play. There's just too much to do now, and I can't do game of the week when there's all this other stuff going on. So I put something on our message board who would do it. And this is the first time I've ever done that where people didn't call up and be like, I got to do the game of the week. And so I'm hoping we've got plenty of guys who are good at it. So I like doing it, but if I can't really wrap my head around it and I'm thinking about other stuff, it's going to be a poor broadcast. And I think that showed last week. It wasn't my shiningest moment doing it solo.
Well, like I said, though, keep giving us the ads so we can play them on here. That way we can advertise it game of the week so people will at least come in and watch it, man.
I appreciate that. I will next time. This time, obviously, I didn't make it, but I could.
All right.
I could probably. The Cardinals are playing the Giants.
There it is. There it is. All right, Brett, before we let you go, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and what your favorite wiffle ball network is.
This is Brett Bevilacqua, commissioner of the Palisades WBL, and you're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
All right. Appreciate it, Brett.
Thanks a lot, man.
Take care. Have a good night, guys.
You too, man. All right. Well, you know what? That was a pretty good one there from Brett.
Yeah, and you also know what else?
What's that?
We didn't get the soundbite from Tim.
No, we didn't, did we?
So I will get a hold of him, and I will get that. He's the commissioner of Mid-Atlantic. We definitely got to get
We've got to get that. So let's take a quick break here, and we'll be right back on the FP Radio Network.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Now the pitch. That's a high drive, deep right center, way back. Might be out of here. It's off the wall. One run is in. 2 runs are in. A third man scores.
Do you want to hit like a pro? Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time. Handmade, lightweight wood bats, custom designed to individual orders in Chico, California. You can reach Big Flies through Babs Big Flies on Facebook Messenger or simply by calling Kevin 530-513-7371. Big Flies, changing the way you play one bat at a time.
Hey, everybody, DP here. Tune in Sundays to the West Coast Wiffle Report live on Blog Talk Radio as we chronicle all things wiffle ball.
Best way to tell the world about your upcoming tournament is Fast Plastic Radio and WiffleBallTournaments.com. WiffleBallTournaments.com is here to help you locate tournaments all over the nation and find the ones closest to home. If you know of any tournaments that we don't have listed, let us know. We're here to help everyone, players and directors alike. Spread the word, WiffleBallTournaments.com. You can contact WiffleBallTournaments.com, W2BWiffle@gmail.com, WiffleBallTournaments.com.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network.
I am Adam Milstead, and my favorite station is Fast Plastic Radio.
My name is Inigo Montoya, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio. This is Babs from Chico, California, and Big Flies, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio.
This is Sylvie Serrano, Oakland, California, and I listen to FP Radio. And Carl Coffey. I'm Jim Balling. I'm from Peoria, Arizona, and The Rock is my favorite wiffle ball network, hands down.
Jared Lamp, founder, owner of Moonshot Bats, Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Fast Plastic Radio Network. It's about the game.
And it's definitely about the game. I'm JB with your host, Billy O, here as always. And as we're winding down towards the last couple 20 minutes or so of the show, we're going to open the phone lines up for any listeners out there that want to call in and get a viewpoint in on FP Radio Network. You can do so 618-200-9260. I'll throw that up here on the board real quick so everybody on Facebook land can see that.
Yeah, very good, JB. We haven't had this opportunity for a few shows where we can take callers. So, guys, also a couple announcements here. Next week, Rob Longeroux coming back in. going to be hitting him up for some questions about the Palisades game of the week because he'll be playing on the Cardinals. I'll be anxious to get his take on that game. Also, he's going to tell us a little bit about the Golden Stick Yard League that just wrapped up, I believe, last weekend there in New York. I was trying to work with him and get results so I could bring him up, and we just ran out of time, so I apologize for that. Brett was talking about he's having a hard time finding broadcasters, announcers for his game of the week. Guys, I can tell you right now that I am looking for 2 qualified announcers that I will fly to Texas to call big games at the Texas Open. I'm looking for guys that are well-spoken, unlike myself, that know what they're doing, that know the difference between a screwball and a drop and why a guy has a batting stance a certain way, and he knows all the ins and outs. So if you think that's you, get a hold of me. Let's talk, and I may fly you to Texas.
All right. Well, you know what? We've got a caller. We got the Royd Toast from the great state of Georgia on the line.
Royd Toast, welcome.
How's it going, fellas?
So what's on your mind tonight?
Man, going to make an announcement. We're going to be making a tournament appearance in Tennessee this year with a couple of guys that play FP to represent our style of play in a base running league, I believe.
All right. Excellent. So who you got going? What makes up the roster?
Well, we got a couple Georgia guys. We got me, and then we got Scott Bragg, and then we have Ed Pack from Port Orange, Florida, making the trip. And then we're also getting the old vet Dave Fisher from up north to come down and play a couple games with us as well.
Very good. Fish getting back out into it. Nice.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while. I hadn't seen him in a long time, so I'm excited about it.
So will you guys get 10 run ruled in the first game?
Very, very likely if we get matched up against Stewart's team. Very likely. Like King said, I hope that game's live. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this, Royd Toast. I was speaking to an old buddy of mine down there in Georgia, the Bopper, DeMacy. He's been itching to play, and there's a slim possibility, slim, that I might make a trip down there and play with DeMacy.
Oh, goodness gracious. I heard that guy can swing a wiffle ball batter, too.
So you guys don't have a chance in hell of winning that tournament then? No. No, I honestly, I don't know who would pitch for us, but I would definitely have to find somebody to throw. But anyway, I don't know what the odds are of us making it, but I think you guys definitely would have to be the odds-on favorite to walk through that tournament. So,
well, I wouldn't count the chicken so fast. I think I've obtained some information that the returning champions from last year may be playing the Village Idiots.
Yeah.
I've had my fair share of battles with those guys, and they're no pushover. They're the real deal. Got a stud, like I've said before, Trent Jones, the kid, both ways, really good player. So it's not going to be a cakewalk, but we're going to go. We're going to show up. We're going to play some ball. That's for sure. So ready to do it.
Yeah, so after I decided to finally break down and read through all the comments that go on during the show, I noticed that there were quite a few on there from you, and it was getting pretty heated. You have anything that you want to throw in after the fact, or?
No, Billy. It's like I said, and like you said, it's a bunch of talk, a lot of comments. But until you show up and play the game, then there's really nothing else to talk about. So no need to go in depth there. Everyone can read the comments, and everyone has their opinion. So we're going to let them have that.
Toast, I think I said it best with the tournament coming up here on Columbus Day weekend, Texas. Put your money where your mouth's at. Come down and play.
Yep, and I think I said that on the thread as well. So everyone knows the date. Everybody knows the payout. There's no excuses about money, this, that, and the other. Show up. Let's play. It's where the best people are going to be. So come on out. Let's do it.
On another note, I've been talking to Toast off and on periodically about what we can do to reestablish good, strong, competitive games down there in the Southeast. And guys, he's working pretty hard. He's got some good leads right now, and I think we're going to see some really grand things start to resurface in Georgia and Florida. So hit him up. Maybe he can give you some details, maybe not. But guys, it's all coming together.
Oh yeah, and that's a big shout out goes to my buddy Carl. Not sure how to say his last name. I'm not going to butcher it, but he's from Augusta up there, and he runs the Parks and Rec. And they just built a new single A stadium, and he just so happens to be the head honcho over there. So may have a big time venue right on the river. Everything. I mean, storefront, hotel right beside the park. Really nice place. I sent you a couple pictures. You saw it. So that's in the works. But we're going to get it revamped. That's for sure.
Sounds like a pretty good deal.
Oh yeah. It's a beautiful place. I mean, if it wasn't so awesome in Frisco, it could be a great place for nationals. Just throwing that out there too. But I'm not going to take that from you, Billy.
Yeah. All right. Well, we appreciate you calling in there, Toast. We'll get off here so someone else can get in. But hey, tell Scott Bragg I said hello, and if you happen to hear anything from Troop, tell him. I'd love to talk to him sometime. So again, thanks for calling in, man.
Hey, Toast, before you hang up,
yes.
Tell us. You know what I want? Tell us.
Oh yeah, I'm Mr. Roy Toast himself, and I listen to Fast Plastic Radio Network.
All right, appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
Later, guys. You too.
All right, Roy Toast from the great state of Georgia.
He's fired up, man. He's ready to go. I'm telling you, there are guys chomping at the bit to get out and play ball. There are several guys already out on the West Coast that are starting to reorganize. There's tournaments, firing up. Let's just call it that, because they know they've got to get some hacks in. They got to get their eye back. They've got to get some work in to prepare. And you can't do it by laying around watching MASH reruns, right? I can also tell you there may be something huge brewing in NorCal, guys. I've been on the phone off and on, for the better part of about 2 days with a lot of different people, and there may be something brewing huge for NorCal. So I've still got to make a few more phone calls. So Derek Anderson, if you're still on Weight Watchers, that's calling your name, son. You need to make
Weight Watchers. What's that about? You
need to come on down. I'd love to get you out, man. Play against you. Hell, even play the same team, whatever. Just get out. I think NorCal, we're going to have something going on later this summer.
Absolutely. 618-200-9260. If you're out there listening, you want to chime in, hit us up right now. We've still got about 12 minutes left of the show. We've opened it up for callers. I see people over here blowing up the message board on Facebook on our live chat.
Yeah.
And one of them is Tim Stewart. He's chatting away over here, but I don't see him calling in.
Hey, Tim. Yeah. Again, I want to reach out to you and say that if you would like, I can get you in here next week on the show for a 15-minute window, and we can discuss your tournament. Tell us what you got going on, what players can expect, a little bit about your rules and format. Get you some exposure. So send me an email, give us a call, whatever. Let's get it set up.
Jonathan King, he's over there saying, I'll give 5-1 odds on that now. Talking about that with Toast going to Tennessee. So, yeah.
I had a good 30-minute conversation with Jonathan King today, too, talking format for this year's tournament. Had a long conversation with Danny Lanigan, and we were throwing ideas off each other about what we can do to enhance this year's experience. He came up with a pretty good idea that I think I'm going to incorporate. So I still have not released the official format for this year's Texas Open. It's coming, though, guys, so stay tuned.
If you haven't registered for the Texas Open, you better get to www.fastplasticnct.com and get signed up. How many spots we got left in that?
I haven't checked in probably about a week. Well, since the last show, the day before last Tuesday, I haven't checked since then.
Okay.
And I would venture to say that we may have as many as 10 currently signed up. So that means 14 spots left, guys.
14. Got to get in there and get signed up. Remember, it's a chance for you to bring your team and win $10,000.
How many days in June? 30?
Yes.
So what, we've got 20, 21, 22 days left to secure that $100 registration fee. So
absolutely.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Callers, give me a call. Somebody out there wants to talk.
I know everybody's over here talking on the old Facebook Live, but nobody's got the cojones to call in.
Speaking of that, can you mind putting your balls back in the sack?
I was kind of enjoying them out here in the air, getting a breeze. Okay. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. I don't know. What do you think it is? They're scared to call in?
I don't know what it is. It's just not their thing, I guess. So you got any other ad spots we need to drop here real quick?
We can drop a couple real quick. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fast Plastic Radio Network. Fast Plastic Radio Network.
Burl's Chainsaw Shop. Tired of your mama's steak knives? Use a chainsaw by Burl for all your ball stuffing needs. It's faster. All right, we're back, and we've got no one other than the King on the line.
What the heck's going on?
What y'all doing?
Just doing a little chatting. Well, you got something you
Man,
want?
I've been listening. No, I ain't got nothing. I just want to come by and say hi to everybody.
Yeah.
They were saying that basically what happened is y'all were saying people were scared to call in, and God dang, John King ain't scared. I ain't got to worry about going to church on Sunday, so I'm good to go.
Yeah, all right. Well, it's always good to hear from the King.
So,
anyways, what do you think about the show today, Billy?
I think it's pretty good. Seemed to go really fast, smooth, and clear, clean.
Nobody got coffeeed.
Nobody got what?
Coffeed. You know, like
I guess I'm lost on that deal.
Well, that's last week's show. Carl coffeed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll have to check that. You have to check that out, Jonathan.
So, what's on your mind, Jonathan?
Oh, nothing. Hell, I just got drunk. I didn't get coffee, but I got drunk tonight listening to y'all's radio show. So I figured I'd just call in and shoot the shit for a second, tell everybody a big hello, and I hope that NorCal thing works out because I would have with my gun up there to California and talking to a bunch of them, soon to be hillbillies when they meet me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It is what it is. But we got to get up to NorCal. I wish I could go to Tennessee to watch that shindig down there. It's going to be a circus act because I'm telling you, that old road toaster, we're going to bring it. I don't know if them Tennessee boys know what they're in for, but it's going to be good. I'm giving 10 to 1 odds anybody that can beat that team. Any game, not just a championship game, but any single game, 10 to 1 odds, it ain't going to happen.
That's pretty good. I might have to take that.
Yeah, well, but you got that against me, not with me.
Yeah,
I'm going with them.
So you and I, Jonathan, we talked today, but we talked a couple of days ago as well, and we were talking about field locations there in Frisco, and you're saying you have some pretty good ideas on some new locations possibility, and we got Wi-Fi possibly. So,
man, we got a private location over there, just right. When I mean north of Frisco, I mean it's probably 5 minutes outside of Frisco, right across the gate. But it's private field, so we can bring in like taco trucks and different things like that. We can bring in music, whatever we want to do, because it's not going to be owned by the Parks and Rec. So that's a pretty cool idea. I can't say if they have Wi-Fi or not. I'm not for sure. But the really, really nice field here in Frisco, they do got Wi-Fi. It's that same place that I showed you that has the Miracle Field with the turf and all that kind of stuff. Problem is, which I don't know if it's a problem, it's Columbus Day weekend, so if they're having baseball tournaments, that's going to be where they're probably going to play the majority of the game. So we'll just have to find out. But I really, the same place is guaranteed for us if we want it.
Right.
But I really think I want to go out to these private fields because we can have a lot of cool crap things going over there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have some taco truck, food people over there. We can have, maybe a DJ or something, just something off to the, whenever we're bored, in between games, different things like that. It'll be different. We can do something cool. And we can actually probably get some more people out there because we can advertise a little bit better because it's a private place. So it's just a different kind of a shindig,
Yeah, and it's upgrading. So anybody that attended last year or watched the videos, you see the quality fields we were on last year. Well, we're actually looking at upgrading from that. So
the fields that we were on last year is probably the bottom of the barrel here in Frisco, which were still great,
Right.
But as far as really, really nice fields, there's a lot more. We're trying to make it work. We've got the other ones reserved, but we're just trying to get as best as we can. Let's go from there and see what happens.
Yeah, and something else I'll announce here, just save some time for me. But Tim Dean, if you're listening, Jonathan and I are going to be calling you on a conference call. We want to get input for format and get your blessing on it before I come out with it. So it's
Tim Dean. Just be open-minded about it, Tim Dean.
Yeah, definitely. Don't make me come down there. So
don't make him travel. He might have a heart attack on the way down.
We definitely got to work. Definitely got to work on the Wi-Fi situation. If we go to a different field, that way we can broadcast.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we're trying to do, man. So we're trying to make it right as far as the Wi-Fi because we didn't have Wi-Fi last year.
Yeah.
So everybody was just doing it from their phones or hotspots or whatever it was.
Right.
Type deal. But yeah, we're working on it. We're trying hard.
Hey, what's the temperature today there in Frisco?
Man, it's hot, man. It's like 95 degrees, but it finally got some wind coming up, and it was good. But the last 2 weeks, there has been no wind. It's been 101. It's pissed me smooth off, man.
Yeah.
Everybody says they want summertime until that shit really comes rolling around. Then they want wintertime again. I'm one of the ones that want wintertime because it's hot over here.
Mm-hmm.
Hot.
Yeah, that's a different kind of hot too, because you get a little bit of that humidity, you get a little bit of that desert air mixing. It's just
Yep, you got to be on your boat. You got to be inside the air conditioner. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
all right. Well,
but anyways, it was nice talking to you guys, man.
Hey.
I'm sure I'll talk to you next week.
Hey, King, before you get off here, tell us who you are and where you're calling from and what your favorite wiffle ball network is.
Hey, my name is Jonathan King. They call me King. I live right here in Frisco, Texas, and my favorite radio station is Fast Plastic Network.
All right. Appreciate
right?
it. Yeah, that's right.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, good.
All right.
Hey, talk to y'all later.
All right,
man. See you.
Hey, real quick, I want to tell everybody, get over there to the West Coast Wiffle Report, Blog Talk Radio.
Absolutely.
He just put it up a few days ago. Awesome interview with Ernie Bianco.
I actually listened to that the other day. It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Ernie,
real good.
Ernie had a lot of insight to the Southeast back in the day, in Florida especially.
Yep.
So, really good interview, Jim. Thanks for putting that out there.
Absolutely. And as always, make sure you share our show on your Facebook page and get your friends to share it also. We want to hit 2,000.
Yeah, and you'll make them famous, right?
That's right. I'll make you famous because you share it all. I'll tell everybody you shared it right here.
If we get up to 30 shares, even though I always say one share was enough.
One's good.
But if we get up to 30 shares, we're going to do something special here.
Absolutely.
We can give out some type of an award to everybody that decides to share.
Your very own wiffle ball. No, I don't know.
I'm getting a call from Richie Wald right now.
Oh, yeah? Maybe he should call on the other
Let's put him
line.
on.
I don't know if you're going to be able to hear him.
What's going on, Rich?
What?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. I can hear you just fine. Listening to FP Radio.
Well, you're on the air.
Sweet.
So, are you getting ready to play some ball?
No, I'm not getting ready to play ball.
All right. Well, what's going on, man? I sent you an email the other day. Is that you're calling to talk about that?
Yeah, I just wanted to try and figure out what your your strategy was, or what your end game was, I guess. Like after you go through your qualifying games, how many do you want left standing, and then I can try to work from there.
Okay, when I get off the air here, I will send you the format that I have drawn up, and then I guess call you, or we can talk tomorrow or whatever if you have time, and go through it. But anyway, for those that are curious, Rich has always been instrumental in coming up with these formats that Fast Plastic has used, going back to the very first one. So I always look for his input. And big news, Rich is coming out of retirement. He's going to start playing ball again too, right?
Oh, that's a rumor that you're trying to start right now.
Well, if you heard it on the radio, it's got to be true. And it's on the internet too, so it has to be true.
All right, well then it's definitely true, but it'll be some other guy with my name and my uniform.
All right, well, how's the disc golf tour going? Any big news?
Right now, no, nothing too big. Just same old, staying consistent, doing what I got to do to at least make my money back.
All right, excellent. Well, I will. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say you handle what you need to do. I'll check back with you on another time.
All right, sounds good, man. Talk to you later.
Have a good one. Bye.
Nothing like the impromptu phone call over the cell phone.
Yeah, he's probably doing that on purpose to throw a wrench in the show.
He's trying to coffee us.
Oh, man.
That's what it was. Shame on you, Rich. That's what I want to say. All right, guys and gals, it's 2 after the hour. That means we're 2 minutes over for the night. And I'm going to tell you what, till next week, I'm JB. This is Billy O and the Fast Plastic Radio Network. We're out of here, but we'll be back next Wednesday. Same great station, same great time, and same great place on Facebook and YouTube. So be sure and tune in and check us out and share us. Let us get that 30 share mark. Hey, wrong one again, man. I'm just like all over the place here. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyhow, we'll be back next week, next Wednesday, regular time, 7 p.m. Until then, we're out of here.
I bid you farewell, arrivederci, sayonara, and all that sort of jazz.
What's that smell?
Adios, you chicken-plucking little stinker! Come on! Quit stalling!
As I was saying, Buster, this planet ain't big enough for the two of us. Oh, off you go!
Well, I can't do any more damage around this popsicle stand. I'm out of here!
Corporate Succotash, I wish you'd reconsider.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
When I say whoa, I mean whoa!
Do I hear amen?
You're mocking me, aren't you?
Darn, that's the end.